All right, well, preparations for the establishment of the country's 7th democratic parliament are now in full swing. Whichever way you look at it, the Electoral Commission has handed over the lists of members of parliament and provincial legislatures to the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, who then handed them over to the Secretary of Parliament. In a couple of minutes' time, Sakina is going to be having a conversation with the Secretary Department, Kolile George. But what we thought we would do is we would take a look at the scenarios and how things are looking in terms of the seat allocations that we saw coming out of the May 29th elections. So we're going to look nationally, regionally and provincially. So let's just break it down for you, because I know that so much has happened this last week, including the announcement from the ANC president and the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, that they want to go the route of a government of national unity and what that means as well. So there's so many developments that are happening, and with us in studio we've got Maswele Ralebona from the SABC, who's going to just talk us through a couple of the scenarios and look at those seat allocations as well that we have now got from last week. It's nice to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So let's have a look. Should we start off with the picture, the big picture, before we start digging deeper? Yes. So the lists are in, the names have been given, but let's talk seats. How's it looking?
Okay, when you look at the seats allocation, for example, because South Africa uses the proportional representative system, electoral system in the national and provincial elections, whereas in the local government elections we use proportional and first past the post. So your percentage of the votes that you get will also be shown in the number of seats that you get. In this case, the ANC failed to get a 50+ majority in the National Assembly. That's why we are sitting here today talking about this. That's why you had the president yesterday having to come in and tell us about the ANC plans, bringing in other parties. So when you look at the seat allocation, Leanne, the ANC got 159, and this is a drop from 230 in 2019. And you've got the DA, which had 84 seats in 2019. They are now at 87. The EFF, for example, which was the third party, now they are the fourth biggest party in the country, coming from 44 to 39. In those seats, if we were to put names of those who are going in and those who are going out, yeah, you've got in the ANC, for example, there are new names that managed to make it to Parliament this time around. You've got Kusela Sangoni, the former president spokesperson. You've got Nongeba Mhlauli, who is now the NEC member from the Youth League. She was part of the conveners of the Youth League. And then you've got Fasia Hassan from the Fees Must Fall. Yeah. You remember her. And then you've got Soviet Lekhayan from the Limpopo. He was once a secretary of the Limpopo ANC. And then you've got Stanley Mathabata, who is now the outgoing premier of Limpopo. And then you've got Zuko Godlimpi, one of the Youth League and very articulate in his positions. So those are the people in the ANC who are going in, notable names. Then you've got also notable names that didn't make it to Parliament.
And that are going out, yes, because that's the reality, is they've lost all these seats, 71 seats.
71 seats out.
Big deal.
In the end. That's a big deal. That's the wound that the ANC will be licking throughout the next 5 years. So you've got Begitele, for example, who's going out, the Minister of Police. But we don't know as to negotiations within the ANC how it's going to happen, because they can always replace someone with some. But as it stands, from the list that we have, Begitele's name is not in that list that was handed to Secretary of Parliament, Kolile George, by the Chief Justice yesterday. Then you've got Phili Mapulane, the current outgoing Deputy Minister of Communications. his name is not in that list.
It's still going to be interesting to see if we actually do have deputy ministers this time around, because now with this government of national unity, I think things are going to change.
Because there are also so many demands from different political parties who wants to form that government.
And that's been one of the sticking points where they've been saying, listen, this is costing too much money. We don't need deputy ministers and we need to cut back. So now we'll see. When they're involved and their positions and names are at stake, would they still want it that way?
We are yet to see that.
We're yet to see. That's
so you've got
thing.
Richard Janti. You will remember him. He was chairing the committee that impeached former PP, Public Protector Mukwebane.
Yeah.
Janti is not on that list. And then you also have Thulas Nxesi, the Minister of Employment. Okay. Not in that list.
Wow. All right. I mean, other names are Lindiwe Zulu, Thandi Modise, Naledi Pandor, Abraham Rasool, Thulas Nxesi. I mean, there's a big change of face that's happening there. So we looked at the national seats and we looked at the allocations there for the national, the regional. But I just want to quickly look, because I think we need to set this up, especially for the conversation we're going to be seeing now. Yeah. Provincially, particularly in KZN, let's zoom in there, because this is the biggest, probably the biggest change we've seen taking place. Definitely KwaZulu-Natal, and also not to that much of an extent the Gauteng. But let's have a look at KZN. Talk to us about this now.
So in KZN, Leanne, you've got 80 seats in KZN, in the KZN legislature. Reason being, because seats from one province to another are not the same. In KZN, you've got 80 seats because of the population, the same as Gauteng, where you have 80 seats because of the large population. So, without wasting time, in KZN, you've got Siboniso Duma, the guy who, the former MEC of economic development in KZN, who famously grabbed the microphone during one of the government events, you know. And then you've got Noma Gugusimelane, who is Noma Gugusimelane Zuma, the current Nomusa Dube, the current premier of KwaZulu-Natal, or the outgoing premier of KwaZulu-Natal, because from where we're sitting with MK and the tension between the ANC and MK, I don't see that coalition that is going to be happening, including them, or even if it includes them. I don't see someone like her or the ANC taking power in KZN. So, and then you also have the Umgeni mayor, Chris Papas.
Yes.
Who is also going to that. We don't know whether he will opt to stay as the mayor of Umgeni, or he will go and take his seat in parliament. Also, we go to, in Northern Cape, you've got Zaman Sol, who didn't make the cut for 50 plus. In his first appearance after the results were announced, he did say that premier position is a no-go area, which means the ANC will stick to that position.
Goodness me. Well, there you go. So that's the Northern Cape. That's, of course, what's happening all over. I mean, like I said, Gauteng is another one to talk about.